Welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video featuring Master Rank. Playing some Gardevoir here. It's been a minute since we played down some Gardevoir, but I will have a new updated Gardevoir guide coming here soon. Hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. We got some Snorlax coming up here soon. A whole lot of Pokemon, guys. There's a lot of stuff for this game, a lot of content. I'm super excited to be here still playing Pokemon Unite. For those of you that are actually interested in playing this game still, you know that we have new Pokemon coming up. We're getting Mamoswine, we're getting Sylveon, we're getting Blastoise maybe at some point, you know. There's a lot of stuff coming out. We got the new mobile Pokemon launch date window coming up here in September. Hopefully you guys are interested in that. But man, at the end of the day, man, I'm here playing Gardevoir. It has been a minute. We do get abused because, you know, we're squishy. We take a lot of damage. We have a very, very weak early game. But I will tell you, for those of you that do love playing this Pokemon, as long as you play her right, there's nothing you can't carry, right? There's nothing you can't carry. Until Zapdos spawns, and you have one bad team fight. And then the game is over. But, other than that, man, you sit here, you play them snipes, you get the Moonblast down, you hit them future sights, you reset. She does so much damage, it's not even funny, but she is so much fun to play, let alone she's just super squish. So if you play her as a Pokemon, you play her from ranged, you play super passive on certain instances where you need to play passive. Other than that, dude, you gotta play aggressive. Know your cooldowns, how much DPS you can do at any given window. And as soon as those resets happen, you go back in. That's it. The early game, like I said, is going to be a little while until you hit level 6. But once you hit level 6, you get that first power spike. You just go in with your face. Yes, with your face. But wait, isn't she squishy? She is. But unless you don't assert dominance, you will never be dominant, if that makes sense. You just got to get in there and be aggressive. Like, that's literally all you got to do. So in this aspect, in this game here, there's only one Pokemon on the enemy team that jumps on my face. Right? Or two, sorry. You have Absol and Lucario. Now, the only way you're going to know this is if you pick up those Pokemon, you play them yourself. You learn their cooldown abilities. That way you know, when you play somebody else, you know their windows and when they can get to you, when they can't reach you. You know what I mean? Because you'd only get better as you expand your knowledge with this game. Just like you do every other game. When you spend time into it, you learn more, you get better, and you get better results. Like, getting to Masters did not take me very long, I'll be honest. But once you hit Masters, you normally go down. I'll be fair, you go down in rank a lot. And it's not because people are better. No, it's not because of that. You'll get those games where you'll get one player who wants to do something that's not favorable for your team or what have you. In other words, like, go to the set objective, go to Dreadnought, and you know they're off killing an Abdino somewhere in top lane or whatever. You got to stay on top of these objectives and go to them when they spawn. You have to do all these sorts of things. And it's a lot harder to play this game in Masters and Ultra Rank as a solo. Solo only, by the way. As solo, it's a lot harder to carry and win a game opposed to playing in groups. Because 9 out of 10, a lot of people are just playing this game in groups when it comes to ranked and what have you. It's a lot easier in that aspect. So when you're playing in solo, you have a lot more to pay attention to. You have a lot more to learn and understand. But again, this Gardevoir is spot on. I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, this is not just one good game. This is the fact that if you play her with a decent team, or you play her with a tank who's actually like going in, you have that front line, you do so much work, it's not even funny. I was waiting for Lucario to jump back on me, but apparently he didn't want to play with me no more. I don't know why. Instead, they were trying to focus down this Slowbro, which again, my opinion, one of the best tanks in the game. You can argue we only have 3, right? Yes. But personally, I mean, in the right hands, I feel like he is just as good as Snorlax. He has everything you possibly want in a tank. So my front line's going to go in for me. I saw Ninetales. I knew she was going to flash, so I threw Future Sight ahead of her for this sense, and she flashed right into it. I'm sitting here just picking up these kills like no big deal. Like I said, the amount of damage that she actually does, and I don't think my Future Sight registered to Blissey that time. That was a little strange. Unless she healed the same exact time it went off. But all these leads here, just pick up all these kills. Cramorant and Slowbro together, they have so much CC. You can't really get away from them. I know Absol's still hanging down here, and she's about to get it, so it is what it is. She's by herself. She has 2 options here. She comes down and fights us on Dreadnought or waits for her team, which she does a smart thing about, until she walks into a bush. So again, I'm going to get ready to hit level 10. Right? We hit level 10, and this is our big power spike. So this is when you know you can just go ahead, be super aggressive, be dominant. Because I have a front line here that it's going to protect me a little bit, right? All I have to do is rain down DPS. All I have to do at the end of the day in this game. Now, we shouldn't be here. Like, we can, but again, there's a Rotom in the top lane. But hey, check it out. Again, we get in there and be aggressive, we get this point. And we can do whatever we want. You can argue we won't be able to cap it before they teleport back down here. True. But it's 4v1 in this sense. Got Crustles on the top lane, Blissey's down here. All we gotta do is kill them. I see Absol activated his Unite move, so he has movement speed. So I'm trying to help our Cramorant over here. And we end up picking him off as well. I don't necessarily play her as I'm the carry, but in the same sense, I am the carry, but also I have other carries on my team too. And I have a stun, which is a CC crowd control, right? So I want to keep them off of my carries as well. Some people don't realize this. They're like, oh, it's about me, 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 me. It's really not, dude. It's a team game. You got to pay attention. You got to focus. You have a lot of tools. And right here, I wanted Snorlax to make sure, hey, I got you. And he decided to go back in. This is something like it's going to take a long time for a lot of players, I think, to learn. Especially being the first Pokemon MOBA, we have a lot of age groups stuff people playing this game. We have a lot of first-time MOBAs for a lot of people. There's a lot of instances where you have to pick up and realize how much damage you do at a certain given time. And this Cramorant's ult was fantastic. He did it at the right time. He absorbed Ninetales ult, which is great. I ended up taking the damage because I don't have any, get out of that type of ordeal. But we come back on this choke point, and the enemy team keeps coming down here. And again, we are so far ahead due to this. How do we lose? You know what I mean? But it becomes a sense where you have to know when to back off. You have to know when to stop, And the enemy team just keeps coming down. You have a champ running wild on top lane. For some reason, he's not down here grouping with us or what have you. That's fine. But we end up getting this point. And I head back to base because, Zapdos is up. Now, we don't need Zapdos, right? We don't need this. So I'm trying to get my group over here so we can defend it or what have you. Keep in mind, I don't have ultimate right now. But instead of trying to defend it, we're split. Cramorant's going top for some reason. And I need a group down here with me so we can defend the Zapdos. But instead they're in the choke. They're in the choke fighting where our DPS is top. And I'm by myself in this sense. So obviously the latter happens and the enemy team ends up getting Zapdos, right? And this is where I think the game is not fun, if that makes sense. Because in this aspect, we was doing really well, right? We were doing really, really well. The enemy team, they weren't doing anything in form of objectives on Rotoms, on Dreadnoughts, even in team fights. They weren't doing good at all. Not to knock them or on anything, but, you know, we saw it. They weren't. Now, you get to this point where the enemy team just happens to pick up a Zapdos. And this is all, like I said before, when you have that one player who is not at set objective or not, you know, paying attention or what have you, things like this happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. And when it happens, it sucks. It really does. Now, is it needless to say, like, point fingers, blame said person? No, but you will get those people in those games who are like, wow, you suck, it's your fault, can't believe we lost. Like, you know, that's going to be a thing. People are going to do that. But necessarily, I think Zapdos is a problem. And a lot of people do think Zapdos is an issue. Like, you sit here for 10 minutes in a game, every game, in which the first 8 minutes mean absolutely nothing. They mean nothing. As soon as Zapdos spawns, you pick up Zapdos. The losing team just automatically wins when they score. I don't find that fair. A lot of people doesn't find that fair. What do you guys think, man? You think Zapdos is a problem? I think Zapdos is a problem. But hey, this has been Pawseplays. I'll catch you guys in the next one.